Feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank.
Welcome to the post-show wrap-up of the Shrimp Tank. I'm Brad Berger, along with my co-host Dan Whedon. Our guest today is Don Morrison with TractionSpace. We just had an intriguing and fun conversation with Don. To listen to the entire podcast, visit us at shrimptankpodcast.com/Seattle or subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. We're always interested in your feedback, so please do not forget to rate us. So Don, for entrepreneurs out there, what impact do you think the last, 2 to 3 months is going to have for those entrepreneurs on commercial real estate?
Boy, I'll tell you, everything's changed. So I think that in the old world of 3 to 5 to 10-year leases, new entrepreneur is going to look at that and say, I got a lot of options out there. But landowners and real estate owners, they change slowly. So, for the next year and a half, 2 years, they're going to still be trying to peddle those longer term leases. Co-working is a great alternative for those entrepreneurs. And they can come in and get real estate just the way they want it for just the term that they want to have. And usually a lot of these spaces, co-working spaces, can also handle growth. And they can provide extra offices, extra space. And the thing about co-working that they need to know is that you may have a small space that's dedicated to you, but you have the rest of the whole space you can roam about and utilize for your teams. So I think it's an exciting time for an entrepreneur dealing with real estate. And I think also that you're going to see a lot of these Class A buildings, multi-tenant buildings, they are going to lose tenants. And they're going to try and reinvent themselves as building owners. And I think you'll see co-working spaces spring up there as well. But for entrepreneurs, be careful and understand what you want. If you just want space, those may be great options for you. But if you want the rich programs that go with a lot of the independents that are out there today, like in Tacoma, TractionSpace or Vibe or others, then really visit the space, all the spaces in your area, and find the one that fits you best.
Great.
Hey, Don, I asked this question during our podcast, so everybody needs to go and watch the full podcast to hear a really great story. I asked this question, in January of 2020, a lot of businesses obviously did not have COVID-19 on their mind. And so many of them had to do some innovation, become creative, do some pivots, and create things that they had no idea that they would ever do, but they became such good ideas that they're moving forward. Did you have a similar situation where because of this, now you have something new and cool and innovative?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So in our physical space here, we created day offices. So these day offices allow people to drop in and just, rent an office for an hour or so, or have a Zoom call. And so I'm sitting in one of those offices right now that people use to have Zoom calls. It's quiet, has a nice backdrop and a high bandwidth internet connection, works perfectly. We've, of course, come out with a lot of new offerings in the space itself as far as shared opportunities with dedicated desks and shared time in the co-working space as well. Online is our big pivot. And we didn't have much of an online. We're going to do it. It was primarily a real estate play back in January. Now we're moving to online in a big way. So we're coming out with a new virtual co-working product. We've just introduced online meeting facilitation that you can use hybrid meetings, you can use virtual meetings, and we'll manage the whole meeting for you. We had no idea we'd be doing things like that. We plan to take this even further and have solutions that will be out there for medium-sized companies who want to replace in-person conventions and spaces, where you may have a hybrid panel operating in Portland and Seattle and San Francisco. We'll help manage that. We'll help set up the panel. We'll help recruit the space for that, and then we'll host it online. So all of those types of things are new.
Yeah. So Don, I know you talked about this a little bit on the podcast as well, and I don't want you to go quite as deep as you went there, so we can have people actually listen to the entire podcast. But you know, the concept of co-working space probably conjures up in a lot of people's minds, different, things that they think about, or ways they think about it, or what they think that it is. What differentiates TractionSpace from other co-working spaces that are out there?
So for us, it's all about our programs and the community that we build. So we have a rich, deep mentoring program where we work with businesses and provide help to them on their toughest problems. We also have a partnership with the South Sound Tacoma SCORE branch where we can bring in their mentoring services as well. We believe in education and have curated educational content from CoMotion, from University of Washington, Tacoma, and Tacoma Community College to help people understand entrepreneurship at its very most basic level and ask hard questions that can lead them to understand how to build a business and create a business plan.
Well, Don, we want to thank you for having been our guest today. It was a great show. Somebody out there watching might say, hey, I might want to try that co-working thing, and TractionSpace might be it. How would they reach you?
So check out our website at TractionSpace.com or give me a call directly at 360-798-0045.
Well, once again, this is just a taste of what you can expect by listening to the entire podcast. Visit shrimptankpodcast.com/Seattle or subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and now Google Podcasts. We'd love to hear from you, so please do not forget to rate us.
And of course, you want to rate us a 5, right, Brad?
Oh, well, 10.
10. So listen, on June 24th, we're going to still be Zooming and Facebook Living. Our guest on June 24th will be Carly Tizano with Masterpiece Organizing. And a lot of people might have had time for organizing during this time. So they're probably you're going to want to tune in and hear Carly. Because for right now, for today, the hay is in the barn.
I've been feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond, and